Let's take a live look at downtown Detroit thanks to our friends over in Windsor. The city of Detroit about to launch its first ever startup fund to help keep talent right here in the city of Detroit. This fund is going to support local tech companies with more than $1 million. They're offering 20 grants of $15,000 and 6 grants of $50,000 to startups looking to grow. You can actually apply for those grants right now until August 25th. Joining me more to talk about this fund is the Vice President of Small Business Services, Sean Gray, with the Detroit Economic Growth Corporation, and Crystal Brown. She's the founder of Circnova, a tech bio startup that uses AI to study RNA and create medicines and treatments for people. That's a mouthful for both of you, actually. Okay, so let me understand more about this. This is a first for the city to offer these grants, and it makes sense, right? Because we're trying to not only attract but retain the talent that we have here in Detroit.
Absolutely. Detroit is already viewed as one of the leading emerging ecosystems for startups in the country. And so after receiving that acknowledgement, what we wanted to do was try to find ways to make sure that people were able to grow startups right here in Detroit so that they don't have to go across the country to plant their seeds. They can do it right here in Detroit.
Right, and I've never started a business, and I'll talk more to Crystal about this, but it seems like just that initial hump of having the startup cash is probably the biggest challenge, right?
It is, and people are investing their own capital, their family's capital, and capital that they borrow. We have already Motor City Match, which helps people start brick and mortar.
Yep.
And this is a way to help people start things that are based on their ideas, their intellectual property, that will really change how we do business and how we operate. If it's just citizens of Detroit interacting with the technology or interacting with services for citizens, or if it's, changing how you shop for groceries.
Yeah, I know the answer, but I want to ask it anyway. Why tech? Why are we focusing there?
So, as you said, I think for all of us, we see that technology is with us and more deeply ingrained in our lives day to day. Now, this program, you don't have to be a tech-focused business.
Oh, okay.
Typically tech-enabled, tech-adjacent.
Which is basically everything.
most things these days, right? I mean, you really have to be scalable. So when we talk about the businesses that would apply for this program, it's businesses that can grow without necessarily growing their headcount. So if you think about a bakery, to increase their revenues by 100%, they typically have to increase their labor by 100%.
Sure.
For startups, that typically isn't the case. You can grow and scale without necessarily having a directly relational growth in staffing.
So, Crystal, started your company a little over 2 years ago at this point, right? Can you kind of explain what it is you're doing?
Sure. So we are Circnova, and we use AI-driven drug discovery to be able to accelerate the development of RNA therapeutic medicines. So in a nutshell,
wait, what?
Yeah, in layman's terms and in a nutshell, we are not guessing anymore. We're using our proprietary AI Nova Engine technology to be able to predict how RNA folds and functions so that it's engineered as new medicine. So it's smarter, faster drug discovery, and it's happening right here in Michigan, right here in Detroit.
That's incredible. Okay, so you said before we started that you started the company with just a $15,000 grant. Obviously not to this program because it didn't exist yet, but how big are you now?
Yeah, so right now we've grown to a staff of around 11, and we are fastly growing. We have 10 open positions that will be opening in the next 6 to 12 months. We will have grown by leaps and bounds. We have our wet lab, which is located in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and headquartered right here in Detroit. So what tech allows us to do, what AI allows us to do, is be able to move very rapidly to be able to get our technology products, whether it's drugs or any other products, out in a faster timeline. And we think that we can't do that without millions of dollars, but it's just simply not true.
Right.
The first grant that I got was through a program here in Detroit for $15,000.
You started all that with 15 grand?
I started all of that with 15 grand and a vision, yeah.
Unbelievable. Okay, I want to talk much more about the program, how we can apply, and maybe some advice from you. We're going to take a short 90-second break. When we come back, all of the great knowledge they have for you in just a second. Welcome back to Local 4 Live, everybody. Again, joining me to talk more about this fund is the Vice President of Small Business Services, Sean Gray, with the Detroit Economic Growth Corporation, and Crystal Brown, who is the founder of Circnova, an amazing tech bio company using AI to basically make medicines and treatments for all of us here at home. So the opportunity to get this $1 million worth of grants seems like it's I don't want to say easy, but it's an easy application process, right?
Very straightforward application process. It's $700,000.
Okay.
We are.
I can find you an extra 300 if you want.
Right? We'll hold you to that. We're hopeful to grow it over time.
Yeah.
So we're absolutely going to get there.
Okay.
But it's actually, we're going to do 2 rounds. So we committed to 2 rounds over the first year, and effectively the first round is currently open, closes August 25th.
Okay.
To apply, and it's a very straightforward application. You do need a business plan. You do need to be able to explain your business model. But for startup founders, this is going to be pretty straightforward
Okay.
in terms of the things that they go through.
Yeah,
So they live
yeah.
and breathe their company.
Gotcha.
And so you can go to our website, which is detroitmi.gov/startup.
The graphic's right on the screen there, just in case someone didn't hear you. DetroitMI.gov/startup. And it's just kind of filling out the paperwork and starting there?
Yep, you start there. Takes about an hour if you're prepared.
Okay.
And it's pretty straightforward. You're describing your business, describing if it's a technology, you're describing it. If it relates to other technologies or intellectual property, you describe what you have there. It does take you to our website, the DEGC, and it's now on the city website so that we can make sure that we're really protecting your intellectual property as well.
Right, yeah. Obviously you don't want you don't want your business out there, right? From the decision, factor of things, you and the team will decide who are getting these grants. What would you suggest are the things that put people, above the rest of the pack in terms of what they should be saying and applying for and putting in these applications?
That's a great question. I think really thoughtfulness about how your product, service, process can benefit the citizens of Detroit. These are Detroit funds from the citizens, and so it's really important to us in everything we do. When we invest in your business, support your business on behalf of the citizens of Detroit, that it benefits them. And so if you have a technology that has a relevance from a civic point of view to Detroit specifically, but to cities more broadly, it's important to put that out there and to kind of lean into how it benefits the citizens of Detroit.
Yeah, well, a great example of that is what Crystal has done with Circnova. So give me some advice. If I am a young, teen, early 20s, something thinking about this, or even older, I guess at this point, right? And I have a dream, I have an idea. What's your advice?
My advice is always, as corny as it sounds, if not you, then who? And if not now, then when? And if not where, then Detroit. Because, the thing is, we think that we have to have so much money, we have to have so much in place, and you don't. There's never going to be the right time. There's never going to be enough money. But there are resources and there are support for founders like myself that can grow in that time. And it starts with programs like this, like Motor City Match, like Tech Town, like New Lab. There are so many resources here where we're told around the world Detroit can't build new tech. I say we're leading an entirely new tech renaissance.
Which is unbelievable. It's like almost like an underground thing happening because so many people don't know about it, right? What are some of your experiences over the past 2 years, some of the red tape issues or just challenges you didn't foresee that you wish you would have known and you can kind of pass along?
For sure. I wish I would have known that we have a community here that breathes a ground of just innovation and support. And even if you can't find talent here, Detroit is calling and people are willing to move here. Right. That is the biggest thing I've learned over the last 2 years. I have brought an incredible amount of expertise and talent in the biotech space, moved here from other places. Matter of fact, my senior software engineer came over from Singapore to move back to Michigan, lives right here in Detroit.
You brought somebody from Singapore?
I did bring someone from Singapore who's originally from Michigan but came back for Circnova. I think that's telling of where we're going as a city.
Yeah, we're running out of time, but I do want to ask you just at least one more question in terms of, red tape and things. Support seems like it's huge. Just somebody to call when you're not really sure what to do or how to talk. There is so much of that available, but I think people are hesitant to pick up the phone and just ask. What do you think?
I think so too, but I think that's why we have organizations like Black Tech Saturdays that's here for tech founders, like Michigan Founders Fund, who make sure that there's a safe space for your crazy ideas that other people think are out of this world, but are actually doable and can give you the action steps to get there.
When you think about it, Amazon was started in a garage.
Oh yeah.
And everybody thought it was a terrible idea. Look at it now, right?
Look at StockX. I mean, I could go on and on. We're going to change some things, and it's going to start here in Detroit.
Awesome. Okay, Sean, Crystal, thank you so much for coming in. I can't wait to see the businesses that are coming out of this. We should follow up with you and see what happens. Absolutely. Awesome. Okay.